gonna smile again. Come on.
It's so nice, Betsy, that you pick up the baby. 'Cause you know, Mother didn't pick up babies for the last 10 years of her life.
Well, Betsy is like a teenager.
I know. She's just amazing.
And plus, you know what? This baby is never this happy in strangers' arms. You have the touch. She loves you.
Look at that. You have to smile over there. Come on. Just smile.
Yes, yes, yes. Your Tia Betsy loves you.
Come on, come on.
Yeah.
Just smile. Come on.
And she talks.
Oh yeah, they talk and they coo. They're amazing.
Yes, you are. Come on, smile.
Spreads this foot, her right foot, she spreads the toes. Then the left foot, she curls the toes
Se está riendo.
when she eats.
Yes, you do smile. You smile. And Betsy. Yes, you do. Mira cómo ve.
She loves. You've got to get Lauren smiling. And lucky Lauren, you get to meet your Aunt Betsy.
Smiling.
Did she bring little Cleo too?
Cleo is huge.
Come on.
She's the hugest baby I've ever seen.
Come on, come on.
I've never seen
Don't
such a
you
big
think
baby.
it's dangerous for her to be that?
No,
She won't develop
Yes,
fat cells and
no,
become
no,
a fat girl.
no. When they're infants, it's not bad to be fat. It's when they're toddlers.
But you're such a
She's still under. She can be as fat as she wants.
my goodness.
She's fat though.
An adult.
She's beautiful.
They all
at
look the
this.
same though.
Look at this one,
They
looking
all
at
have
you.
that same.
Look.
You can tell they're siblings.
Yeah. Hello.
It's taking a picture of this beautiful girl. Yes,
they
she
don't cry
is.
much. You just cry a little bit. You talk to them and then stop.
Look at that face. Look at these lips. Look at
I'm
that beautiful
sleepy.
baby. Yes, you're a beautiful baby.
They're such a good babies, both of them. Look at this one.
Can burp you. There you go. There you go. This is my favorite way to burp. Put her little face in your hand, and then, but I do it towards me, so you'll have to come to the other side. And then burp, burp, burp. There you go. There you go. Does that feel better?
If she burps up anything that
You
goes
can
in your
tell
hand.
this one is bigger than the other.
And it goes all over my clothes.
1 pound, it's a big difference for a baby.
No wonder you have so much laundry.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah.
I was telling her, I said, you better be careful when they start turning. She said, oh, she already did.
turned.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Well, look what she turns it. Look what she turns it.
It's so tiny.
You know, after all, they really look alike.
They do. Well, they have the
Look
same
alike,
kind of
look alike.
features. They
Right.
just
Yes, you look
they
beautiful.
put them together
You
differently.
just look beautiful.
What's there?
Oh,
I'm looking.
Oh, sweetheart.
They're always hungry, these girls.
Sweetheart.
Constantly.
Yeah, she's happy right now. I watched his face, her face, to show, and she's looking the other way. No, that's it. There.
Rest a little while. You can rest a little while.
That it happens in places where the babies are in a separate room.
Yes, it's very cozy and it wraps around. It's soft
Yes.
and it vibrates
Collars
too.
are so
Mhm.
soft.
Yeah, I have to have many places for them to sit and sleep and everything. we can take that, I put that up on my counter and doing dishes.
There's your phone is from, yeah, you know, I had it last night because when I said, you can't take
Can I get you
pictures.
something to drink? Would you like some water or a glass?
Mommy's here. Oh, 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 hi, honey. Oh, 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 mama, mama. Oh, hi, honey. Ah, oh, ah,
Got me back anyway.
Yeah, let's do.
Hello, Tanya. Thank
That's
you
the
for
one that
making
says,
this videotape for the
"Aku,
girls.
aku." Say aku.
Julia said,
Golden brown, like that's a beautiful color.
yeah, that's a
And then they do the frosting on it. Yeah, the frosting is beautiful. Listen to them. Oh, it's still Julia. Feed me, feed me. She's
laughing.
Bueno, nos vemos. We'll see you all.
I'll bring these back by or I'll give them to Homer.
Okie dokie.
And you say grace in the sun?
Okay. Have you had enough? You've had enough. You've had enough. I know. Come on. You've had enough. I'm going to try to nurse you, and if you don't nurse, I will give you this bottle. What do you say? You were so good for your tias. gonna go upstairs and change your diaper. I'll finish up the rest of the fish and then. Okay, okay. Here we go. Off we go. There you go. Sleep, baby, sleep, relax. Taking the babies for a walk on a mild Texas summer day. Hi. What do you think? What do you think of this warm weather? Different from Massachusetts, huh? Oh. What do you see? It's nice and cool in the shade. Here comes the babies. 2 months old. At their grandparents, great-grandparents' house. Going on a trail ride.
This time. Oh, she's looking at me like, I think I'm gonna get scared at my Shishi. Is your Shishi scaring you, honey? Is your Shishi scaring you? She wants you, mommy. She wants you, mommy. You want me, let's see. She does, she does, she does, she does.
Who's got you? It's your puppy that's got you. It's a puppy got you.
Oh, yes, that's what I usually do before I wash it in the washer.
ahí. Mira, me da la mano y se queda viendo acá, yo creo que quiere algo de aquí. ¿Verdad? Dame la primera.
Call you. What do you think? It's gonna work out with storage of that picture.
I think he's gonna have to, because none of the cheap flights were already unavailable.
Oh, you tried several.
For all the weekends, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just never made them available. They never do. Those cheap flights, they never make them available. Those are lunch specials. Better be looking on this.
But I think you can still. I think this.
Disorder, a psychiatric condition that causes severe mood swings and self-destructive behavior, was previously thought to only strike adults. But now, more than ever, children are being diagnosed with this debilitating and frightening condition. CBS News correspondent Mika Brzezinski reports. Bipolar disorder, a psychiatric condition that causes severe mood swings and self-destructive behavior, was previously thought to only strike adults. But now, more than ever, children are being diagnosed with this debilitating and frightening condition. CBS News correspondent Mika Brzezinski reports. For Katrina and Bill Olguin, middle child Kira is much more than a handful.
I believe it started when she was an infant.
At just 4 years old, her rages are so violent, her own parents are terrified. How bad does it get with Kira?
It gets bad. We've caught her banging her head on the wall.
Suicidal?
Not yet.
Twice her parents have felt so helpless, they've rushed her to the hospital.
On the way to the emergency room, she attacked me while I was driving, and she unbuckled and repeatedly beat me in the head.
And it's not just her parents. Kira is a danger to her siblings, even the family cat. Desperate for a diagnosis, Katrina even videotaped her daughter for doctors. Months later, she got one. Bipolar disorder, a psychiatric condition characterized by extreme mood swings and violent, even self-destructive behavior.
It's far more common than we had ever thought.
Dr. Janet Wozniak, a pediatric bipolar specialist, says the mood swings happen far more frequently in children. This 4-year-old is in such a rage, she punches her daycare provider in the face, giving her a black eye.
Parents will describe walking on eggshells, that their child is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
But diagnosing very young children is still a radical idea, and the powerful psychiatric drugs used to treat adults have virtually no track record in children.
You're treating a very young population right in the middle of a very rapid period of brain development.
Psychiatrist Dr. John McClellan says such an extreme diagnosis in a child so young is simply dangerous and often skirts the issue.
The label itself becomes an explanation. It's not me, it's my bipolar disorder, becomes a problem.
CBSNews.com video is always free, thanks in part to Walmart. The Walmart price, saving you money on the things you need every day.
Bipolar disorder, a psychiatric condition that causes severe mood swings and self-destructive behavior, was previously thought to only strike adults. But now, more than ever, children are being diagnosed with this debilitating and frightening condition. CBS News correspondent Mika Brzezinski reports. For Katrina and Bill Olguin, middle child Kira is much more than a handful.
I believe it started when she was an infant.
At just 4 years old, her rages are so violent, her own parents are terrified. How bad does it get with Kira?
It gets bad. We've caught her banging her head on the wall.
Suicidal?
Not yet.
Twice her parents have felt so helpless, they've rushed her to the hospital.
On the way to the emergency room, she attacked me while I was driving, and she unbuckled and repeatedly beat me in the head.
And it's not just her parents. Kira is a danger to her siblings, even the family cat. Desperate for a diagnosis, Katrina even videotaped her daughter for doctors. Months later, she got one: bipolar disorder, a psychiatric condition characterized by extreme mood swings and violent, even self-destructive behavior.
It's far more common than we had ever thought.
Dr. Janet Wozniak, a pediatric bipolar specialist, says the mood swings happen far more frequently in children. This 4-year-old is in such a rage, she punches her daycare provider in the face, giving her a black eye.
Parents will describe walking on eggshells, that their child is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
But diagnosing very young children is still a radical idea, and the powerful psychiatric drugs used to treat adults have virtually no track record in children.
You're treating a very young population right in the middle of a very rapid period of brain development.
Psychiatrist Dr. John McClellan says such an extreme diagnosis in a child so young is simply dangerous and often skirts the issue.
The label itself becomes an explanation. It's not me, it's my bipolar disorder becomes a problem. Kids are not held accountable, or parents are afraid to intervene.
What are the risks of medicating a child as young as 4 for bipolar disorder?
We don't know anything about the long-term risk for side effects in that age group.
What are the risks of not intervening at this time? What's the devastation to this child's sense of self-esteem, really to the whole pathway of their life?
As more doctors are learning how to identify bipolar disorder in children, more parents are willing to take the risk and have their kids put on powerful psychiatric medications. Anything to stop the cycle of rage and self-destructive behavior.
He would break furniture. He would, hit his head against the wall continuously. He would destroy his bedroom. I just did not enjoy being a mother.
Life with Leo Lobogan was once a living hell for both him and his mother, Kristen.
On the floor.
Leo's journey to a bipolar diagnosis started with a broad brush label of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder from a pediatrician.
And he was prescribed Adderall.
Which is a stimulant. Did it help him?
No, it made him worse.
Children who have bipolar disorder are often diagnosed with other conditions that are much more easily recognized. All of the medications that are typically used for those conditions can and do affect children with bipolar disorder negatively.
Dr. Dimitri Papoulis is author of The Bipolar Child. He says there are countless cases of bipolar kids being medicated for ADHD with stimulants, which can cause a severe adverse reaction.
They could be aggressive towards themselves. They could make a suicide attempt.
Things spiral out of control.
Things can spiral out of control.
Things did spiral out of control for Leo, and he came close to killing himself. Now re-diagnosed with bipolar disorder, he's on lithium, a mood stabilizer, and his life has turned around. His mother says all because of a correct diagnosis.
If he had been diagnosed in the beginning, we would not have gone through 3 years of anger and sadness and pain.
But doctors are still refusing to medicate Kira, saying she's simply too young for such powerful drugs. Her parents fear she's far more dangerous without them. As it is now, what do you think the future holds for Kira?
If things continue the way that they are, I don't think she'll be with us. I have no doubt in my mind or in my heart that we would end up losing her. She's 4 years old and she deserves to be a 4-year-old little girl. She is a child that has an illness and she needs help with that illness.
For The Early Show, I'm Mika Brzezinski in Clovis, New Mexico.
A good 30 years now. And when it first started out, it was called as paranoid schizophrenic. Then, after so many years, it began to change, and then they called it bipolar. Okay, from 1 year to the next, from 1 to 2 years, I would have the up, then I would have to go down, I had to go be committed into the state hospital for treatment. Okay, I did that for so many years. But now, which I was younger then, but now I'm 61 years old now. I got older, and my illness has gotten older too.
I took a picture.
You don't. Okay, but the older you get, sometimes. But I've never decided to give up. Now, when we was in the state hospital several years ago, going through our Fairweather training, we have group therapy, and we had different things they would teach us. Okay, if phase 1 don't work, try phase 2. Otherwise, if something don't work for you, and you can't seem to get nowhere, and you're in a situation you confused, or you sick, or you down, and you can't get your mess right, but try something different.
Tell us about what you have heard. Have you heard things about people talking to you when they
Oh
weren't?
yes, I can actually hear people's voices talking. I can hear people saying things before it happened. I can see it.
What kind of problems has that caused you?
Well, it caused me a whole lot more because it's schizophrenia. It's a mind-boggling thing. And it keeps me confused, and it keeps me hoped down and choked down. I said, I don't want this because it's not all of me. It's not even my attitude. It's not even my ways. Excuse me, but I'm going to overcome.
Are you a believer, Miss Child?
If I am a strong believer in God.
Tell me about that.
Because the Lord Jesus Christ saved my soul, the Son. Saved me at an early age, thank God. And I know if it wasn't for the Lord, where would I be right today?
Do you ever hear God talking to you?
Oh yes, according to His Word, His Scriptures. Now, a lot of people say, well, she's so religious, fanatic, and this and no, this and that, and whatnot. No.
Okay. Do you ever have problems with your sleep at night?
No, I sleep very well, because I take sleeping medicine, and I sleep all night long, because I go to bed early, after supper, about 7:30, I'm in the bed, and after that, I sleep until 5 o'clock in the morning. I get a rise, take my shower, fix my bed, and go out there to the lobby.
Did you have any kind of concerns about people might be wanting to kill you or something?
Yes, I do. I definitely do.
How do you experience that?
Well, because my illness got out of hand, and my doings got out of hand. I got to a place where I was, the mistake I made was nothing wrong, but the mistake I made when I applied for the nursing home, no, I'm not going to accept that. It's not that there's nothing wrong with the nursing home, but it's fine. But if the Lord willing, I want to go back to Charles Hospital if the doctors can fix it for me voluntarily and go in and take a longer-term treatment and get stabilized again and get myself together otherwise, so I can get up and go to work and live productive and do something productive with myself and my life and go head on. And stop looking back at the past and stop worrying what this bothering my mind, picking at my mind like that, and that's wrong.
Do you ever feel like people are putting ideas in your head?
They are. It's somebody that's really messing with me. I don't know if it's voodoo or witchcraft, warlocks or witches or what they are, but it's not right.
What are they doing?
I hear them talking and saying things that are bad in my mind. I can't think. And when I can say, I can be sitting, I get real quiet. I say, mm-hmm. And I can see that person doing little things, or hold that person captured, talk to that person, get that person back to the person, can't do what he's supposed to be doing. And that person jumping that person's place. Like this is actually smart. But that's what they used to do. Syndicating people.
Do you ever feel like people can read your mind?
Oh yeah. There's some people smart enough to do anything.
Are they doing it right now?
I don't know. It could be.
Who's doing it?
Well, I'll tell you, I would say they're doing it if they mind, but honestly, you know, everyone now is under surveillance.
Who's under surveillance?
People. There's so much going on in the world. So much crookedness, so much crime and stuff like that. Drugs and all that stuff, and you know, you don't trust anymore. You can't trust somebody anymore. Everybody overpopulated. You know, you sit there, you get on the bus or the train. You know, you used to say, well, you touch the person, and you better not talk.
You better not talk to him, huh?
No.
Now, how would you know if they were one of those people that was surveilling you?
Well, I can do what we call spiritual discernment.
Spiritual discernment?
That comes from God. That's a gift from God. And you can see.
What do they look like?
Well, the Lord tell you what type of person they are, what type of spirit that is, what they're doing, what they're not doing. First of all, he show you yourself. You can't put it all on blame on nobody else. Put the blame on yourself sometimes. Until you really, when it all boils down, you're not to blame.
Tell me about your mood. What kind of a mood are you in most time?
Well, I've been happy, real stable today, very stable.
How about yesterday?
Yesterday, I got real kind of loud, kind of out of it. But Joey, he works with me, he and Chuck work with me very well. Very concerned about my moods, they can tell when I go be need medical, even at times, I don't even know myself what's going on with me. So I said, I got to go to church. I got to go to church and get some more races. My mind races, I talk fast. You know, I walk fast, I do things real fast. And I mean, you get upset. Things not going right. I can see, at one time when I was well, I used to work in the medical field myself for over 50-some years. And I can see things, I know how things go, I know how things supposed to be. I watched you go right here at work, I said, look a minute. I said, wait a minute. She ain't gonna get no raise.
Did you ever get into arguments with people?
Yes, I did. Because I know, and I know and they know, but I was wrong, but I stopped that mess.
Miss Mamie, do you ever hear voices?
Well, when it first started out, I used to hear a lot of voices. I was very paranoid, suspicious, scared all the time, and I would hallucinate a whole lot.
Did you ever think people might be wanting to kill you?
Yes, it was terrible. And it took me years and years in time of medication and practice with the doctor to overcome it.
Tell me about how you can tell who is got you on surveillance and who doesn't.
Well, I can tell by now that a camera, back when it started, well, it wasn't like that. But now, time has changed. We live on the time of technology now. And everything's on surveillance. And I can tell it's good when a camera is looking at me or someone in the natural.
Tell me what you mean by that. How do you tell that?
Well, a camera, you can feel the, to me, you can feel the energy or the technique of a camera. But being, maybe just suspicious, but being in the natural, you can feel someone maybe watching you a long way off, and you can jerk. You may see them say, "Well, that's someone is watching me."
Do you ever feel like people can read your mind?
Yes, they can. Because some people they're experts.
Do you read other people's minds?
Well, no. What we call it is discerning.
So you have discernment?
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
As seeing in the spirit.
Okay.
And that's a gift from God. Okay, there are some people because they call psychics, some people call readers, which it's a gift. But they're taking it and using it the wrong way. And it's not right. And it's getting gain off of it. And that's not right.
Well, you're talking real well right now. Do you ever have times where you speak really fast or get very agitated?
Well, when I first got sick, I would. I'd be so upset and whatnot and shaking or crying or whatnot. But I know that wasn't right either, so I would get my medication. And when I first started getting sick, and I didn't know what the stuff was about, until they began to show me, and said, well, you were here hallucinating and hearing voices and mostly it was being suspicious.
Do you have problems with your mood?
Now the older I get, and I think it's really not my mood, I think it's just going through menopause, part of it too.
What do you think your mood is today?
Well, my mood is level today. It's a good mood.
Do you ever feel like you're too high?
Yes, it does, because when the bipolar will hit me, well, it go down, well, as I said.
Up and down?
Up and down. The mood won't be good at all. I mean, just, I just want to give up. But then what I do is, I said, well, let me go to my doctor, check. I say, it's either my medication need to be increased, or I'm not taking it right, or I'm not getting enough rest.
Well, I just want to thank you for sharing this with everybody. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like sometimes people that might be watching this might want to kill you?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
But be careful, it records 5 seconds of sound.